At one point, Rare discussed making a brand new Donkey Kong Country game for Nintendo DS. The idea came about after the team remade the original trilogy for the Game Boy Advance. However, the pitch didn't gather much momentum and it was ultimately shelved before development could begin. The Return of Donkey Kong was a planned NES game mentioned in official Nintendo materials from 1987 to 1989. It was intended as a sequel to the original Donkey Kong games, including Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong Math, and Donkey Kong 3. According to brief mentions, it would have had a barrel throwing game and possibly had Donkey Kong as a playable character, but no screenshots or footage have ever been released. Super Donkey was an early and unreleased Donkey Kong game for the Super Nintendo. It was discovered in July 2020 during the massive Nintendo Giga Leak. It was hidden within the source code for Yoshi's Island, where two prototype files, Super Donkey 1 and Super Donkey 2, were found. These builds have little connection to Yoshi's Island, but seem to be an early step in its development. The game stars a strange Rayman-like aviator who also bears resemblance to Stanley the Bugsman from Donkey Kong 3. While the game doesn't directly feature Mario, leftover graphics show that both Mario and Donkey Kong were considered for the role. This could have meant that Yoshi's Island could have started as a Donkey Kong game, instead of just being a Yoshi game from the start. Most of its content was eventually scrapped. Some ideas, like melon bugs, ape enemies, and a dog similar to Poochie, were carried over into Yoshi's Island. Donkey Kong Plus was a prototype shown at E3 2002. It featured Mario, Pauline, Donkey Kong, and Jr. Since they probably would have used the modern Donkey Kong design from Rare, it would have made the family tree a lot more complicated. It would have allowed players to build levels on the GameCube and transfer them to a Game Boy Advance using a link cable. However, the complicated hardware setup likely led to the feature being dropped, and the project was later reworked into Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance. They removed the link functionality, and they hid the level editor in the game's code. A proper level editor wouldn't return until the DS sequel March of the Minis. These are some photos that remain from the project. Yoshi Touch and Go was originally in development for the Nintendo GameCube as a side-scrolling puzzle platformer while Yoshi would protect baby Mario. The game focused on drawing mechanics, possibly using analog controls or early touchscreen concepts. During development, the project split between GameCube and DS versions. A tech demo called Balloon Trip was shown at E3 2004 and resembled what would later become Yoshi Touch and Go. While an uncancelled game, this shift showed how the concept dramatically changed platforms during development. Virtual Boy Mario Land was a Mario side-scrolling platformer for the Virtual Boy. A playable demo was shown in 1995, a winter, featuring Mario moving between the foreground and the background. One of the system's signature 3D effects. The demo included classic enemies like the Goomba and the Koopa, and even showcased a large Wario-like enemy acting like a thwomp. There was also brief overhead view segments similar to The Legend of Zelda. A 3D version of Mario Bros. Was also meant to be included as a minigame, but that was instead released separately as Mario Clash. Yoshi's Cookie was planned for a release on the Wii U Virtual Console, but it was ultimately never released, and no one knows why. It might have something to do with copyright issues, as the original game was delisted from the Wii Virtual Console around the same time. Now this one is very interesting. Super Yoshi no Tamago was an unreleased Super Famicom game of the 1991 puzzle game Yoshi no Tamago. In the US, it's just known as Yoshi. Not Yoshi Cookie, just Yoshi. Developed by Game Freak in 1995, the game was never finished or released. In 2024, so last year, a leak revealed unused sprites, backgrounds, and the music from the game. Interestingly, a DS port of Yoshi no Tamago was found in Pokemon Black and White source code. It's strange that a DS version of a game that would never came out on the NES would exist. It could have been a tech demo or an experiment to see if older games could run on a new platform. To explain why I've been gone for 8 months, it's because I don't have made a chance to record stuff. But right now, I don't have school anymore for a while, so I'll definitely try to record more videos. I'll try to make some more. I have some in mind. Not right now. I'm very much certain that I won't make any more lost media type videos for a while. So I'll I have two in mind. Two, one of them is Roblox related. I I just realized I haven't made one Roblox video like nearly 2 years, and another one that I've been meaning to make for almost 3 years now is in development. I've been kind of on and off working on it for a few months now, but I say that it won't take much longer until it's done. It's related to Koopalings from Mario. If you remember me making a poll like 2.5 years ago now, yeah, I've been working on it for a while. So it's been my passion project for a while. I hope to release it soon.